Welcome to another episode of Game Boy Roulette, where we take a look at randomly chosen games from the Game Boy library. Micro Machines. I mean, yeah, it's on the Game Boy, of course it's micro. You know what toys never go out of style? Tiny cars. Hot Wheels, Matchbox, Majorette. Taking really cool cars and making them small will never get old. I remember having a huge collection as a kid and spending hours ramming them into my brother's similar collection. And yet, ironically, bigger than all of them were Micro Machines. They actually outsold all three other brands combined for a few years, until it was sold to Hasbro, who attempted some rebranding that didn't go over well. Micro Machines still pops up with new toys every now and again, although nowadays they're probably most well known for their ads featuring the world's fastest talker. No, really, look them up, they're kind of amazing. But as important as the toys were, the video games might have actually been even more well received. The first one, released in 1991 for the NES and ported to everything, is considered one of the best racing games for the system, which is really high praise. The original game was developed by Codemasters, but the Game Boy port was created by Big Red Software, a company that worked very closely with Codemasters. So this game does have a lot going for it. But this is also the third to last game that Big Red Software ever made, which could be a problem. And also, weirdly, the game was published on the Game Boy by Ocean Software. I don't know, something about the numerous hands on this game does have me a little bit worried. The box art does put me back at ease, though. I love the juxtaposition of the awesome-looking drag racing cars with the billiard balls and playing cards. Man, I really should get around to playing that new Hot Wheels game. I love racing through giant levels. So, who's up for a tiny, tiny drive? Rev up, it's Micro Machines. Whoa. Whoa, this music is as fast as that guy talks. Micro Machines! Presented by Ocean. Sports cars, location school desktops. Oh, I am so ready for this game. Please be good. This is the greatest selection arrow I've ever seen. This away or that away? One player it is. Who do you want to be? Oh! Spider? Chen? Cherry? Do any of these characters have a difference? And there's a lot of them. Walter. Oh, this game already has a lot of promise. Please let the gameplay be okay. Challenge. Power boats? There I am. Oh. Oh, it controls well. Okay, there's no more music, we just have the boat sounds, but it's not as awful as other sounds I've seen. Or heard, I guess. Alright, this already is off to a very good start. Who do I want to race? Oh, I can even pick people to race. 4x4s? Oh, okay, let's do this. Nice. Okay, so it's controlling extremely well. I'm not sure what B does, but A is accelerate. You are allowed to go outside the course, it looks like. Whoa. This is from what I've seen of the NES version anyway, this is a really good conversion. The handling is very loose, but in a fun way. It's the kind of handling that emphasizes no! Drifting. I think my opponents are simply too good at this. Ow. 4. Darn it. Walter failed. That's his full name. Hang on, I just want to check something really quick. B is for braking and reversing when I'm stopped. 3. It definitely seems like a game where it's better to run into the orange. Better to run, let go of brake than anything. Oh gosh. I love how chaotic this game is. Oh man. There doesn't seem to be rubber banding either. It seems to be a fairly even race. See you, nerds. Yeah! Okay, yeah. The trick is to not follow the track. Nice. We are building our collection. Sports cars. Oh, there's just something so satisfying about this game. Sound effects are a touch grating, though. Out of the way, no! You have to just barely tap. Whoa! Bonk. Out of the... Oh! I'm so sorry. But actually, I'm not. Okay, yeah, that's how you reverse. No! Get back here! Okay, it's very easy to get caught on things. It's difficult, but it's difficult in the fun way of having to learn how the game works. Come on. No, they were right there. I'm totally into this. No! It's all falling apart. I don't know how many modes there are. I do know that on the NES one there was a tank mode, where you could actually hit a button to shoot. And given that this seems to be a straight port of that, would not surprise me if that's in here too. Alright, aim for the center. No. I will say this. The tire screeching sound effect is a little hard to deal with. This does seem like the kind of game where you might want to play it without falling off the ledge, with the sound off. Especially because while the menu music was good, the in-game is just motors and engines. You're not really missing anything. Darn it. It's almost like racing with pinball physics. And I know that sounds like an insult, but I kind of mean it in a good way. Okay, I'm lined up. Let's go. See ya. Whoa. Too micro, too furious. I also, like I said in the intro, I love the aesthetics of driving tiny things through huge comparative environments. There's also a real sense of speed. No! They've managed to make the game actually feel quite fast. Nyan. Warriors. Warriors? And these seem to go slower. So each car does have very slightly different physics. Ow. Oh, but these cars, if they touch each other, explode. So, the game looks nice, it plays well, and each race shakes up the formula a little bit. Yeah, I really got nothing else to say. This is a total hit of a game. They took one of the best NES racing games and brought it to the Game Boy with no problems. Well, maybe one problem. You know, just, turn the volume down. I'll be doing this part of the review as the Micro Machines guy. Just kidding, that would be annoying. When I saw how many companies were involved in this game, and knowing it's a port of a beloved NES game, I was really skeptical, because those are all recipes for disaster. But to my delight, not only did the game make the jump to Game Boy well, it may have leapfrogged every other racing game on the system. The controls were perfectly responsive, the difficulty was just right, the variety of vehicles each had their own slightly different mechanics, and made the races feel distinct, and the characters added some extra spice. It was all just really well done, and the game had the absolutely necessary feeling of speed for these games. Racing games being slow can be a total deal breaker, but in this case, feeling fast elevated it from a good game to a great game. And let's talk about the thing that made it stand out the most: chaos. The controls were responsive, but the racing was definitely a bit slippery, but in honesty, that's a big plus. Since you don't have to follow the track perfectly the whole time and can slide in and out of the path, the slipperiness makes things more fun than frustrating. And with the silly maps and visuals, plus the mixing up of vehicles, it meant the game never got boring, with a sense of wild chaos during races that perfectly matched the theming of being a kid playing with toys. And looking into it, there are still a bunch more races and cars to go, so there's plenty to do, not to mention a few other modes to play around with. This might be one of the most total package racing games I've played on the Game Boy, and gets about as high of a recommendation as I can give. Top to bottom, it has every single thing a racing game should have, capped off with just being plain fun to play. And that hand on the menu is the cherry on top. Look at it, I could watch that all day. And that's all for another episode of Game Boy Roulette. Make sure to like the video, comment, and subscribe to follow the series as we continue to dig through the Game Boy vault. I'm BrianJ, and I'll see you next time.